Hi guys, Dom here and welcome back to my channel. I changed my lighting a little bit. I'm trying to get better at it. I actually did a proper 3-point light, so we'll see how that goes. Today is going to be a art video, but it's going to be more on the talky side. So in order for you guys to get to know me a little better, I thought why not with tattoos. Now, I love tattoos, and to each their own with tattoos. Religious wise, some people don't do it because of that. Some people feel like you won't be able to get a job with tattoos, and the job market's changing, and there's so many people that actually do have tattoos who work in conservative environments. With that, it's a little tricky. But my art job is really going to be comics and traveling and drawing, freelance, and YouTube, hopefully, once I get it. Really won't affect me as far as that is concerned, and I want to get my whole arms done, so I'm going to go through my tattoos that I do have, starting with not the one you see there, but my two that I have on my wrist. Love in Japanese. My friend told me it was Chinese too, but the love symbol is pretty much the same. And it's not like love for a person or love for this or love for that. It's the generalization word for love, the word you use to like group everything together and then say whatever you need to say. That's more on language stuff. And then this side is courage. See if you can see that. It's a little difficult. Whoa. But I got love and courage. I got love on my right arm so that it covers my heart. They say never to get it on the left side, the same side as your heart, because it's bad luck. So I didn't do that. I drew it out, and I like that particular blue. Like a lot of my tattoos tend to have that kind of like tealish blue, but how I feel is like you can't get through life without love or courage, because you need to love yourself or love your goal or whatever you're trying to do, and you need the courage to go ahead and push through. So love and courage, and it's always on my wrist, it's always there. Number 3, even though it's the second time I got it, number 3 would be, which one did I get done first? I'm trying to think. Would be this one on my arm, and it's a skull with hearts, and it's a bow. It's a bow on her head. I thought it was so cute. Skull and crossbones are typically like a traditional type of tattoo thing to get, but you can get it in different styles. You can get it in the old school 1950s style, which is super popular, but I chose to get this one because that one is actually, besides it just being girly, it's the symbol for a skateboarding team that's in California. It's like all girl skateboarding team. I love skateboarding. I still love skateboarding. I just don't skateboard as much as I used to. I used to suck so bad, and then I got really good at it, but that was like, I started skateboarding when I was like 18 to maybe like 22 or 23. I still love skateboarding, but I don't know if I'd hop on there just yet. I still have cruisers and decks and all of that stuff. Still got my Sheckler stuff. Sheckler was my favorite. Let me see. Everybody knows about Tony Hawk though. Like, everybody knows about Tony Hawk. Who didn't know about Tony Hawk? Like, come on. Yeah, that's why I got that tattoo, because it was more associated with skateboarding than it was just being like a badass chick. And I don't know, maybe I should skateboard some more. I don't know, I feel like you're never too old for that. You can get out on a board and just do it. I absolutely hated shove-its. I liked the way that they looked, but I knew I was doing it wrong. So they were like, if you're doing it wrong, you're gonna pop your shin. And I said, oh yeah, I popped my shin, something awful. I finally learned how to kick flip. I sprained my ankle before I kicked flip one day, And then after a few weeks, my ankle was fine and I got on it again. I actually kickflipped quite a few times, which was a miracle. And then I was never able to do it again. I was like, oh my God, that's so stupid. No, number 4. Tattoo number 4. So this one is Lisa Simpson. I got Lisa Simpson because it's like a matching tat with me and my brother. So my brother ended up getting Bart Simpson, and he's like in jail clothes dragging like the little ball and chain on his leg, and my brother's like, we should get matching tattoos, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay dude, we'll get matching tattoos. So I went to my tattoo artist one day and was like, I want to get Lisa Simpson, and we found like a cute and innocent pose for her. And I went and got the tattoo done, and it's so funny because my brother has it on like his wrist or something, but if I hold my arm up to his wrist, it actually matches like size wise, so it looked like they're together. So that was like an awesome tattoo. My brother freaking loved it. So he's Bart and I'm Lisa. We've always said that, and now we have tattoos to match. Tattoo number 5, I'm having a moment, is this one that is on my chest, La vie est belle, which is French for life is beautiful. And I got this one, I forgot how long ago I got this one. All these are really old, and then there's a recent few. But this one I had got when Lancôme came out with the perfume La vie est belle, and I was like, okay. But I like that saying because it's based more off of how you feel life actually is, like your perception of life. Like, do you really feel life is beautiful? Like, you know, how do you see life, whether you have money or whether you don't? It's really based off of, you know, at the end of the day, how do you feel about life? Do you love life? So I remember going into the store and we were in a mall, and we took a picture to promote that perfume. I don't know if they actually used it. They found a ton of different women who came in that day, and they got to sample the perfume and all that stuff, and we ended up getting it. And they took our picture for a promotional poster, and they were ecstatic because I actually had the name of it on my chest. Even though it's like the tattoo does mean something to me, it's like I remember having to do that. That was so much fun. I have no idea if they ever used that, but they all had us stand in like a line. And if you've ever seen me in any kind of ad or anything, that's why. Number 6, tattoo number 6. Or should it be like that? So, where? Would be this little sucker. I'm sorry, my arm is hairy. Whatever. And it is Ariel. It's a new school version of Ariel. And then tattoo number 7 is Alice, and says we're all mad here. Or we're all mad. What does it say? We are all mad. This is by, forgot the artist name. I'll put the artist name at the top, but or at the bottom. This artist is a new school artist, and they made different Disney princesses into like a new school tattoo style, which I absolutely love. But I got Ariel and I've got Alice because I've always loved the Little Mermaid. You know, ignore the red hair. I've always loved the Little Mermaid, and you know, I've watched that movie so many times. I know the line word for word, and I just started to really get more into Alice in Wonderland. I like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, but I like the original book Alice in Wonderland, like the really original book, because Alice was freaking cuckoo. They were over there smoking drugs. They were doing everything, and at first the tattoo on Alice said down the rabbit hole or something, which can mean quite a few things, especially with drugs. So I asked my tattoo artist, like, can we change that? Because if I'm going into a certain setting, I do not want people to automatically think like, oh, that's a drug reference. Oh my God, you know? So I got that changed, but that's why I have them on there. And Ariel, you know, for the Little Mermaid, but it also says Siren on it. So because it says Siren, the old school mermaids are sirens, and they would sing and lead sailors off the course and to their deaths. So it was kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, I don't think too many people know too much about the original story as far as like what some mermaids did. I mean, they always made up stories about how some mermaids were helpful, but I mean, honestly, their stories are pretty intense. Number 8, tattoo number 8. So I have a Sailor Moon tattoo. It's Sailor Moon and hit record. Let's see if I can get close enough. Jeez, mess up the lighting. I can't show it right. I'm gonna have to just do a picture of it. And at the top of the tattoo it says by moonlight, and at the bottom it says again by heart. This is for Hit Record, which is the open production company Joseph Gordon-Levitt has started, and it is for Sailor Moon. This is Rini's transformation brooch, but on the inside, the blue with the red circle is the symbol for Hit Record, and I wanted that to be such a great idea. Again by heart is the original, the original meaning behind Hit Record. Joe and his brother originally came up with that, and that's technically what record means, to do it again. So then they made the heart symbol, and it's again by heart, and the red dot is like the hit record button, which I thought was super cool. But I got that because that was like one of my first chances to do something professionally, and I got paid for it. So I have like my first dollar framed from that and all that stuff. So that was really exciting for me as an artist to have that first chance, that first little sliver of opportunity. And I hung it up, and it gives me a little bit of hope that you can achieve anything that you want to. It took so many takes and so much hard work to get that final cut, and I actually got on there. They've cut a lot of my stuff. Like, they thought it was great, but some things didn't fit. So it took a while. So just because you don't get something the first time, keep trying, especially if it's a part of your dream. Keep taking in good critiques also, because that actually helps. There's a difference between people being helpful and critiquing, and then people just bashing your stuff. So it's important to differentiate those two, figure out what's being helpful. You know, you could tell by the way people talk to you if they're just trolling you or if they're really trying to critique you and help you. So be mindful of the speech and take in what they're saying and make it into your own. There's no wrong way to do art. Art is subjective, and just make sure that, you know, because Joe's the director, him and the other people that are part of Hit Record do have the final say so. So just listen to them, follow directions. A lot of artists don't get work because they don't follow directions. So always remember to follow directions and you will be set. That's why I got that. And I'm such a Moonie. It's so terrible, but I absolutely love it. I am still a Sailor Moon fan. I am still making a Sailor Mars cosplay. My hair is pissing me off. Oh God, what are we on? 9. Tattoo number 9 is actually on my stomach. And I'm not really gonna show that, but it's like right underneath my chest, and it is Sailor Moon's transformation brooch, and it has her transformation ribbons, you know, and she's like, Moon Prism Power, you know, because I just thought I was Sailor Moon for some freaking reason. But I'll show examples on the page. But it is Sailor Moon's transformation brooch that goes in the middle. It is the crystal, it's the ribbons, and it's also the symbol for Sailor Mars. The symbol for Sailor Mars is at the top with the heart in the middle and the ribbons on the side, and I got that because I just wanted to be a magical girl, and Sailor Moon has always meant something to me. I always watch Sailor Moon when I feel sad or when I want to draw or get inspiration for my cartoon Karud. So at the top is Sailor Mars because I'm an Aries. It's the symbol for Sailor Mars, and Mars is one of my favorite Sailor Scouts, yay, besides Usagi. So I wanted to get that to incorporate both of them in there and incorporate the Sailor Moon transformation brooch, because in the middle it literally sits in the middle. Story time about how I got that tattoo. My artist took like a small bottle. It was probably about the size of my phone. It was a small little like numbing cream, and I was like, why do you need numbing cream, dude? Like, is this really gonna hurt that bad? He was like, you need to do this in 2 shots, and I didn't understand why he said that, but he did the outline. He did the numbing cream and wrapped me a saran wrap for the numbing cream to activate. And I'm like, dude, does this really require all of this? Are you freaking serious? So we did that, and I got the outline done, and it was pretty easy. I didn't really feel too much. I felt a little bit of it, but the stuff that I did feel hurt so bad. I wanted to cry, but I didn't, because I'm the best at getting tattoos. But I went home, and 2 days later, my ribs were on fire, on serious freaking fire, and I have to go back and get color. And I think he's like, if you wait too late, you have to go back and get the outline again because it's not going to match up. And I'm like, dude, well, I waited too late because I'm trying to graduate, and that costs money, so I think I might have to get both done again, which is gonna suck. It's gonna suck something awful. I have no words for it. I want to get a whole sleeve done, but I want to get some more meaningful pieces, and then in between the pieces I'm going to get roses, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to take years. I don't intend for it to happen immediately. If it did happen immediately, okay. If you want to get one, my advice is, even if you don't know exactly what you're going to get, have an idea of what you want to get. So if you want to get hearts, get different types of hearts. If you want to get the old school 50s drawings done, pull up pictures of that. Have some sort of reference in your brain. If you've never seen the artist's work, pull up their work before you go in there. Most of the time now have portfolios in their studios when you go in to get the tattoo. You don't necessarily have to go on the same day that you want the tattoo, because you can go in and say, hi, blah, 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 ask the prices, do all of that stuff, and then come back for your appointment. Or if you're just walking in, you can get it that way. My strong advice would be to tip the tattoo artist, especially if they did a good job. If they didn't do such a great job, I don't know about that. Number 2 would be to make sure that when they're putting on the stencil, that is exactly how you want it, is exactly how you see it, because even if you spelt it wrong, like, they'll ask you, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? It's for the reason that, they're not liable for that. So if you spelled it wrong on purpose, then that's something totally different than you accidentally spelling it. So just double check your spelling if you're having lettering done. If you feel like the atmosphere just isn't for you, I wouldn't go. Like, if you don't feel comfortable with your tattoo artist, I wouldn't go. And that's something you can kind of feel. Like, if you don't feel like you're too comfortable there, you can always have a buddy to go with you, some sort of friend, parent, relative, whatever. But if you still don't feel comfortable with that person, then I recommend choosing a different tattoo artist. Advice number 4. I would say, first and foremost, before any of this, know that they do have pricing for the actual shop. So a tattoo shop hourly wage could be $60 an hour, $100 an hour and up. And then that also depends on the tattoo artist, because some artists charge more for detail, they charge more for lettering, they charge more for color shading. So just be mindful of that. Always ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, but don't try to dip the price down too low. Don't try to haggle the price, because you want a great tattoo, but you don't want it so cheap to where they'll just do it cheap. Some will give you a discount, but don't just assume that it has to be cheap, because art is not free. Advice number 5, and this should be first and foremost in a cleanly basis. Make sure the studio is clean, okay, people? Make sure they're using new needles, they're cleaning their area, they're sterilizing you to some point. Some have to like shave the hair off or whatever. Just make sure that everything they're pulling out, as far as that's concerned, is brand freaking new. Like my tattoo artist always has like a new set of needles. He cleans off his thing, pull out the new needle, do all of this, do all of that. Just make sure it's fresh and it's clean. You can also see if they have their licenses up on the wall, so just be mindful of that. You don't want to get any kind of infections or diseases or anything of that nature. They're going to have you sign a waiver, but on the waiver, it's just in case you break out for something. They're not responsible for you being allergic. That's just, you know, typical protocol. But if they're not clean and you have an issue afterwards, then yeah, do not go there. Always keep that in mind. But this video is going on kind of long. I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and bye.